Hey everyone, arebelspy here, bringing you Shadow Era commentary number 21. And in this game we are playing Lance versus a Gravebone deck. And as you can see, he gets to go first. And I don't remember if I mentioned this in my last video, but I've been playing Lance a lot. I think he's one of the better heroes right now. Gravebone gets out a tome, so I'm sure at some point I'll be stop thiefing that. And I think Lance is really strong. There's not a lot that he auto loses to. He has some tough matchups against, say, an Amber or an Aladwin, who get out a lot of little weenie guys real quick, because Lance relies on some of the bigger, heavier hitters, more expensive stuff, Aeon, Raven, Anklebreakers, things like that. And so you can lose to a rush deck sometimes, but he has a lot of good matchups. Here it looks like I two-dropped a Nightshade, and he dropped a Death Mage, and then I retreated it, and he lightnings me for his turn 4. So not a lot happening early game, just some basic plays, but I do get out an ill-gotten gains, and that's going to help me get some card draw going. So he tosses out a Plasma Bee, and that's going to be tough to deal with. When Plasma gets on board and you don't have anything out. Now, Anklebreakers will help because that'll disable him so he can't use his ability, but when Plasma Bee comes out and you don't have anything on board, nothing to deal with him just doing that 7 damage, 4 from his ability and 3 from his attack, makes it really hard to deal with. And now an Ogloth comes out, Mr. Glutton, and so he's got a few allies on board I need to deal with, but of course my hero will come in handy here, so that'll let me give haste to Raven, who will kill his Plasma, which of course pumps the Ogloth, but that's alright, because I'm just going to disable that with my Anklebreakers. So now I'm taking a little bit of board control from him, hopefully, and he doesn't have a lot of cards in hand. I'm imagining he'll probably be using that research unless, oh nope, he needs to use all his resource to kill my Anklebreakers, and then he brings back the Plasma Bee using his hero. So right here we're in a little bit of a tough position. We have the same number of resources. Actually, he has one more. I have one extra card in hand. I've got a Raven on board, and he's got a Glutton and a Plasma. So I'm a little bit behind here, but again, I've got another Anklebreakers, and that will, of course, help. That'll let me set his Ogloth to 0 with Raven, and then disable his Plasma. So that Anklebreakers is really huge for taking board control. If you're not playing that, you really should be, because it does help quite a bit. It helps versus the weenies if you can stay alive long enough, because it'll, of course, kill them. And then just disabling some of those key allies who have great abilities. Jasmine, disabling her, stun. You know, it does 2 damage, too. I feel like it really should maybe do 1, but it does 2 damage, lets me kill that Bella there. And then Raven can kill his Plasma. But, of course, now his Ogloth has been pumped several more times. I do go ahead and stop thief his research and toss out a Jasmine. So Ogloth has been pumped a few times, even though I had reset it back down to 0 with Raven. He lightning strikes my Jasmine and Raven twice. He's a little unsure about it, but decides, yeah, I'll go ahead and do kill the Raven with the lightning strike, and then he'll let Ogloth finish off the other one. And now his Ogloth is already back up to a 4/6, even though I had hit it with an Anklebreakers that reduced its attack by 1. I had hit it with Raven that it reduced its attack to 0. Now that Plasma Bee, Bella, Jasmine, and Raven have died, it's back up from a 0/2 to a 4/6, and he uses his Gravebone ability to bring back that Plasma Bee. So right here it's looking a little scary with nothing on board for me. His 4/6 Glutton and his undamaged Plasma, and all I've got is that Anklebreakers on board. But like we said, Anklebreakers is real good. So I do use Jasmine, and I've got my hero ability built back up. Use that Shadow Energy, and that will let me stun, or, you know, Jasmine can shake her fanny at Ogloth, and Lance can disable and then let Jasmine kill the Plasma Bee. So having that Jasmine is going to be pretty big to keep using her ability. But if he can, of course, fireball her, you know, if he has a supernova here, something like that, he'll be able to take them out. And Ogloth has, you know, he can take her out because his, once that plasma died, it brought up his attack to 5, and she's only cost 4, so he can use his ability to kill her. And Shadow Knight's going to come out, which will take that plasma back into hand. So this Gravebone player is playing pretty well. He's getting a lot of good cards when, you know, he's not drawing a lot, but he's drawing what he needs to. And so I toss out an Alden, which lets my Priest of Light one-hit the Shadow Knight. And then, of course, I'm sure I will Anklebreakers the Ogloth the Glutton, which is up to a 7-9 after it had been a 0-2. So I do that, and I toss out another Anklebreakers because mine died due to lack of durability. So he goes ahead and Supernovas, which will kill both my allies. It won't kill his because he had enough health, but then his will regain some of that back from my 2 allies dying. So now he's got an Ogloth and a Keldor on board, but I do toss out a Spell Eater Bands, which will help me from any sort of fireballs or supernovas, lightning strikes, any sort of damage like that. Plasma, of course, protect from that. So that armor will be pretty good in deflecting a lot of his attacks. He's going to try and whittle that down and wear away at me. So again, not much with the board control, but my hero is amazing for getting board control along with Spell Eater Bands. So I go ahead and attack his Ogloth the Glutton, which will finally kill it. It was a 7-2 by that point. And then I disable his plasma with my Anklebreakers. And now I'm looking okay. You know, just a turn ago it was a little sketchy, but he does go ahead and toss out Chimera, a Fire Snake, and uses his Gravebone to get out that Glutton again. So he's got a lot on board here. I don't quite have very much. However, you know, I do have, I can't kill that. His Glutton's going to get big again, which will get annoying as I kill all these little Fire Snake, Chimera, Keldor, whatever. But I will disable the Glutton for now, and that will break my Anklebreakers, but I have another one. I've been saving those because they are just so good. So he does have quite a few allies out here that can work away at my durability. And he goes for my Aeon, and either Keldor or Chimera was going to die when Aeon was attacked, and he decided to go ahead and not quite sure why. Oh, he must be supernovaing. So he decided Keldor will get Aeon down to enough health that he will die in the supernova, and then I'll attack the hero with all my other guys, and then toss out the supernova. Now I have that Spell Eater Bands, so that's not going to do much damage to me at all. But it will kill all my allies and pump up his Glutton to ridiculous amounts again. So this Glutton has been a little bit annoying. It's a 8-5 right now, but the Spell Eater Bands lets me disable that, and then I'll toss out a Raven that can, and a Jasmine, and Raven can hopefully deal with him next turn, reduce that attack down to 0. And at this point, I have such board control, along with that Spell Eater Bands, that he can't just directly go for my hero. He does get out of Tome to try and draw a few, but I feel like at this point it's kind of a lost cause. There's not much he can really do to come back, unless he somehow LLNs and, I go ahead and get rid of his research too. So, or what do they call it now? It's not research anymore. It's Tome of Knowledge. Tome. Get rid of his Tome and get rid of all his other guys, and go ahead and start damaging his hero. Use Jasmine. So, like I said, unless he can somehow LL in and get rid of my Spell Eater bands and then just go after my hero, I think I have like 10 health though, so it's going to take multiple cards to get rid of it, and I don't see how he can come back here. He does Supernova and get rid of almost everything, but again, I don't take any damage from the Supernova, and I still have a Raven on board and my Spell Eater bands and my Anklebreakers, and I'm going to go ahead and say this game's about over. But hope you guys enjoyed that game. I felt it was a pretty good, interesting game because his stupid Glutton and Plasma B just kept coming out over and over and over, kept having to deal with them and looking like I was a little bit behind. But I guess he GG'd right there. I could have just hit him with my weapon. He only had 1 health and killed him there. So with his guys continually coming out over and over, was a little tricky to deal with, but a combination of Lance's ability along with Anklebreakers just coming up amazingly huge in that game let me just deal with those and eventually take him out. So hope you guys enjoyed that game of Lance vs. Gravebone, and as always, if you guys have any good game recommendations, a good game you've played that was fun or interesting, let me know and I'll see about commentating it. Otherwise, catch you guys next time.